Welcome to Looplearnings, and in today's topic we are going to create a form in Microsoft Access. So stick around and let's get started. If you're a regular visitor of my channel, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to Looplearnings. Consider subscribing because I make at least one video a week for your self-development. So this is a part 2 of the series that we are creating a small application or software using Microsoft Access. If you haven't watched the first part of the video, then link will be given in the description below. So make sure that you follow the series so you can follow all these steps. But in today's tutorial, what we are going to do, we are going to create the first form because we have created tables and create a relationship in part 1. And from this tutorial, we are going to create forms. So in today's video, we are going to create form which is used for the login purpose. So similarly like this that you are looking at. So we'll create login form, and then in next video we'll create a dashboard as well. So it is video by video. We will have a little bit of progress on our way. So let's get started and let's jump right into it, Microsoft Access, and let's start creating this particular form. Well, and as I mentioned at the start of the video, we are going to create forms. So not all the forms will be able to create in one video. So but at least we'll start creating forms, and first we will create the structure of the form, and then we'll do the coding behind the buttons and controls. So first form we are going to create, and hopefully in this video we'll cover only the first form, and that is the login form. And then after that we will create the dashboard. So let's go ahead and create form. To create form, we will go to create tab, and in here you will see forms section, and there are different options presented by Microsoft Access. So you will see form design. This is what we are going to use. Blank form, form wizard, navigation type of forms. Different templates are provided by Microsoft. So my recommendation is, if you're learning Microsoft Access, you don't need to use any of the pre-prepared templates. You want to learn how to create forms, how to create controls, etc, etc. So I would recommend you to use either one of these two options, so form design or blank form, but we will use form design. So click on that and we will be presented with form. Okay, now let's do a little housekeeping first, and then we'll put a control on the forms. So housekeeping, it's my own term when it comes to forms, but I don't know what it is called in software world. But housekeeping, so first thing we will do is we will expand the area of the form, basically resize it, so we get a little space to work on the form. And the other thing in housekeeping we'll get rid of this grid. So you see these lines are, don't get me wrong, these lines are useful, helpful. A lot of people take advantage of it, and rightfully so, but I don't. I just get rid of them. So how to get rid of the grid? Right click anywhere in the form, and then choose a grid. Right now it's selected, unselect it, there you go. Now it is nice and clean form, and you can do a little bit work on it. I would like to keep the ruler because that's very important when you're designing the elements or objects on the form. So right click here on the top of the form, and you will see different options here. If you remember, while creating tables we get two options, design view and datasheet view, but when we are creating form we get two additional options, form view and layout view. So right now the form is in design view, that's why you see this ruler and other things. But let's go ahead and see how the form view will look like. Form view is basically the view which your user will see it. So this is what your user will see when they will open this form. The first thing on the get-go, what we are going to do as a part of housekeeping is to get rid of this. This is called record selector, and we'll get rid of the navigation here as well. Navigation is very useful, especially when you're creating continuous type of forms or table forms. But when you're creating this kind of form, and it's called a single form, when you're creating single form, I don't think the navigation is required or record selector is really required. So let's get rid of these two. So we'll go back to the design view. So click anywhere in the form and then click on design view. And in here, we will click on in the corner so we can select the entire form, and we will go into the property. So to go to the properties of form, we will go to the property sheet. So if in case for some reason you don't see property sheet here like this, then what you can do is you can go to the design tab and you can click on property sheet here. All right, now in property sheet we have different tabs in property sheets. For example, you will see format tab. A lot of housekeeping happens from this tab. Data tab is for working with the data. So if you are connecting this form with a table or query, you will get record source and filter and data entry, allow addition, etc, etc. So for event form is used if you want to create some sort of events. So for example, if form opens in and you want certain type of behavior to embed into that form, that you can create. If form is closed, while closing the form, if you want to embed certain type of behavior after update, before update, after insert. So there are a lot of events that you can work on. As you can see here, big list of events. So it's very exciting, and I'm going to work with some of these events later on in this series when we are working on VBA. And then you go to other. This is basically additional properties of the form, additional features of the form that you can build in, and we will be working on some of these later in this video as well. So right now what we are going to do is we are going to get rid of the record selector and navigation bar, and that is located under format tab. And under format tab, if you can see here, record selector, right now record selector is selected as yes, so we'll select no. Navigation buttons from yes to no. And then if we will go to the form view, and there we go, we don't have the navigation bar here or record selector here. Another thing I would like to do is to get rid of these scroll bars, because this is a single type of form. So you can see here form type, default view, single form. If it is a continuous form, if it is data sheet, if it is split form, then yes, we need the scroll bars on our form, like this scroll bars. So but because this is not a continuous form, we would not need any scroll bars. So let's get rid of scroll bars also. Right now you have scroll bars selected as both mean horizontal and vertical. We don't want neither of them. And now let's go ahead and save the form, but because we haven't saved yet, it will ask the name of the form. So click on save, and we have to provide the name of form, and let's give the form name like login F. F stands for form. As you can see, tables also employs T. T stands for table. So at the end of every table you get T. Similarly with the name of forms, at the end of every form you get F. That's my way of doing, but it's not necessary that you will have to do the same in a similar fashion. So you can use your own name combination. Click OK. The form is saved, and right click, form view. This is much better, blank canvas, and we can go ahead and do a little bit of work on that. So right click here again, design view, and in here what we are going to do is we are going to put two text boxes, one for username, another one for password. Now let's get the two text box, and to create or to get the controls or text box, in other words, or buttons, we will have to go to design tab. Okay, and in design tab we get a different kind of controls. So we get label, text box, labels, buttons, drop down menus, which is called combo box, and we get list box, and these are the things that we are going to work with. Rectangle, and let's get the text box. So we got the text box, come in the form, so you can see the cursor has been changed, and we can drop it anywhere. The text box will be created, and let's make a copy of this because we want another text box for the password. And let's do a little housekeeping with it. So we'll select both text boxes, we'll go to home tab, and the first thing I would like to do is change the color to black. And let's give a name in this label for this text box, what this text box will be used for, and it will be used for username, so people can know that, oh, this is where they have to enter username, and this text box will be used for password. Okay, now let's do a little further housekeeping. So to do further housekeeping, we'll select both, we'll right click on that, and we'll come to layout, and we will make it stacked. So what will happen when you do stack, first these both will be merged together, so it will become one block, which is good whenever you want to do a formatting. Now let's go ahead and change the height of the text box, because the height of text box is little smaller, and to change the height we will go here in the property sheet. Let's select both of them at the same time. We can increase the height. So here in property sheet we will see height, and in here we can change the height to 0.8. yeah, that looks better. And I also would like to align this text in the center here, because at the moment you can see that the text at the moment aligned is on the upper side of the text box, which doesn't look good. So we'll come back to the property sheet, and in here you will see another property called top margin for the text boxes. So in here top margin is 0 centimeter. Let's make it 0.06. Okay, let's make it 0.08. No, let's make it 1 centimeter. Oh, that will be disappeared. 0.09. yeah, that's better. So 0.09 would be better. The text is a little bit in the center. Another thing I would like to do is to expand these two text boxes here. Now you see there is a space in here, right, between these two text boxes. If you want to reduce this space, you can also reduce this space by going to arrange, and you go to here narrow, so you can reduce this space if you would like to do so. Again, it's your own preference. All right, and now if I will go back to the form view, and we have nice two text boxes where you can do entry, so user can mention the username and password. Or hang on, we don't want password to be displayed like that. We want password to be invisible, but it should show asterisk sign here. So we'll go to design view, we'll select the text box, and we'll go to perhaps data and input mask, and in here click on the dot, and choose the password and click on finish, save it, go back to form view, and there you go. Now the password will not be visible to the user. Alright, cool. Let's go back to design view. Let's make two buttons here. One button is for login, another button for cancel. But before we do that, one important step, and I also almost forgot, and this is why I want you to pay attention here. So important thing is to change the name of both text boxes. I'm not talking about labels. These are two labels here on the left side, but these are the text boxes, and we need to give them proper name, because at the moment, if you will see, the name is text 0 for this text box, and for this text box it's text 2. It's important to change the name and make it user friendly. So because when you are doing programming, basically when you're writing code, and if you have to refer to the text box here or the value in the text box, then you would not know text 2 or text 10 what text box it is. So that's why it's important to give a name to each text box. So select the text box, go to the property sheet and go to other tab, and in here change the name from text 0, and normally my text box name starts with txt, so it's easy to remember that it's a text box, txt, and then username. Always remember, please do not give any space in between the name, because that will not be an efficient way of giving a name for any element. So we'll change the name. So name has been changed. Let's change the name of this text box from text2 to txt password. Okay, enter, save the form. All right, done. Now let's go ahead and create two buttons here. So to create buttons, we will go to design, and this is the button, and we will drop here. It will give us a wizard. We don't want to use it. Let's go ahead and change do a little housekeeping for the button also. So let's change the name from command 8 to, so basically this is a caption. You can change from here, or you can double click in the button itself, and you will be able to change. So we'll give a name login. So this looks a little blank. I want to have a little icon, like key icon with this also. So let's go to the property sheet, keep the button selected, and in here picture, and we'll click on ... and in here we will search for key, and there we go. And now it is only key, but I want text to be displayed also, which says login. So to do that, we will in the format tab, we will say picture caption arrangement, and we will select journal, and there you go, we get login with the key. Another aspect of the housekeeping is make the text full black. Okay, that looks better. Now let's change the height of this button, and the height of this button right now is very less, so let's make it 0.6. no, still at 0.8. yeah, better, little bigger. Let's change the style of this button, and for that we'll go to format and quick styles. Normally I like these styles, but again you can choose according to your preference, but I always choose this style. All right, now looks better. So let's shrink the size of it, and remember, like we have given the name to each of the text boxes here, we have to give a name to the button control as well. So to do that, we'll go to other, and this time we'll use btn, which is button. Again, you use according to your own preference. So btn login. Okay, so the name has been given. Now we'll copy this, paste it so we can save our time. This is another trick. Okay, that's why I did not create it two button right away, because I want to make all the formatting and then simply copy and paste and change a little bit. So we'll make it cancel, and instead of key I want to have a little cross here, so that symbolize the cancel button. So we'll go to the format tab, and in here we'll go to the picture, and in here we will search for that little cancel button icon. There we go. So we'll use that. Another thing I would like to do, because this is a cancel, so let's make it red. The shape outline should be red. Again, this is my preference. You can use your own preference. And don't forget to give a name to this button. So right now this button name is command 9, so we'll change it to btn cancel. All right, cool. Let's save it and let's see how the user will see it. Nice. So we get login button, we get cancel button, and we get username and password. This is fine. So the next thing we are going to do is, because this look little blank, let's make it as pop-up box, right? So right click here, and we'll go to event, other, and here pop-up at the moment is no. We'll make it yes. And it's a good idea whenever you are making some form as a pop-up form, you can make them as modal as well. Modal mean user cannot do anything else except that form. So they will have to use that form in order to go to the next form or next screen. So that's why a modal option is very good. We'll right click and save, and let's see how it will look like now. So we'll go to form view, and there you go. This is nice, right? So we get real pop-up form, and it looks like this. Another thing we would like to do is we want this form to be open in full screen. Okay, if you don't want to do model, because not everyone likes model form, so you can turn it off, right? And you still get this nice form. But what will happen, people can choose anything else. If you don't want that to happen, then you have to make it a model form. So if I'll turn back to yes, and we'll go to form view, now user cannot select anything else without before proceeding from this. So that's very important. Okay, so we want this form to be open in a full screen like this. So to do that, we have to do one thing, and that is small little code we have to put on event. So what event we are going to use? So when someone clicks on the icon, and this form will open first, and it should be open in maximized view, and so that means on loading event. So on load here, if you will see, we'll click on ... a pop-up window will open. We will choose code builder, we'll click OK, and we will be presented with this. And in here, short line of codes, do cmd dot maximize. Okay, that is the code. Later, of course, we are going to talk about this in detail. Save the form, and now if we will go to the form view, boom, now it is opening in the full screen mode. Okay, this looks little blank. We want to have one picture in the middle, and we want to have, little colored borders, so it looks little better. So again, this is part of the formatting or housekeeping, you can say. So let's make some borders here, and to do that we'll go to design, we'll choose a rectangle, and we'll make a rectangle till here. Okay, let's choose the color, let's fill it up with blue color, and outline should be transparent like this. Now select that, copy and paste, and change the color from this to, let's say, green. Again, I'm just choosing random colors. You can use any color that you wish to do so. I'm just choosing random colors. Let's see how the form looks like. And if we'll go to the form view again, this is okay, but this should be expanded till here. So if the form is, no matter what size of the form it is, so for example, if it is in this situation, this border looks good, but when we expand it to the maximized view, then it doesn't really look good. So we want this to be expanded like this. So basically the orientation, this according to screen orientation, the size of it should be changed. So right click, design view, and we'll select these two. We'll go to format, and in here you will see horizontal anchor. So instead of left, we'll choose both. Save, and now let's go to the form view, and there you go. So now we are these two rectangle boxes are extending according to the screen orientation, right? This looks much better. Now let's change this login F. So we don't want this to appear here. We want this to be like a welcome to your company or your software. So I'm going to change the name, and to do that we will go click on the forms here, and we'll go to this properties caption, and perhaps we'll say welcome to Looplearnings. Okay, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Alright, so welcome to Looplearnings. That is changed. Now let's go to the form view again, and here we go. You get welcome to Looplearnings. Right, now the last part of it, we will get a picture in the center of form. So we'll go to design view again, and properties. Okay, form properties, and we'll see the picture here. We'll click on ... and this is a picture I have already chosen, and you can use any picture here. Double click, we get the picture, save the form, and we'll open the form, and there you go. We have a very nice picture in the middle of form. We have borders, we have welcome, we have username, we have password, we have login button, we have cancel button. So that's near to perfect login screen that we have just created, and this is how it should be. So user will have to enter username and password, and then only they will be able to get in to the application. Let's make username and password text, these labels also bold, so it looks little professional. There you go. All right, so this is so in next video I believe we are going to create another form, and that is the dashboard. So and then after that we will create the additional these forms also, employees form and employee types and parts requests, vehicles. I'm very excited to show you all of these forms, how these forms are created, but we will go step by step, and I hope you are following this journey, and I hope you are learning as well something. So if you want to really learn this, you can't learn only just by watching. So once you watch this tutorial, I would recommend you to open your laptop if you have not yet opened, and then start from the start of this video, and then follow each step of how I'm doing, and follow those steps, and you'll be able to create similar kind of form eventually. All right, again, if you want to use another picture, Google it, just use it for your preference. So that's how you can create forms. So today we have created the structure. We have not yet done any coding behind login or cancel. That is coming up. So once all the forms are created, structure is created, that's the first step. Then the second step is to embed the code behind each element, so we can actually work the way we want application to work. All right, that is it for this tutorial. I hope you have learned something, and in next video we are going to make dashboard. So if you are interested and if you want to follow along, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you get a notification whenever I upload these tutorials, and also share it with others too, and tell me in the comments below whether you have learned something or not. And thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one.